What's up, everybody? Waiting for some people to come on. Turbulent time of uncertainty. Okay, so he will be joining us shortly. Thanks, everybody. How you doing?
Peace and blessings. Can you
Peace
hear me?
and blessings. I can, yeah. Great.
Good.
Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
They said my connection wasn't that great, so hopefully it comes on stronger.
Between the two of us.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I know you're an extremely busy man out there changing the world and inspiring many. So you're one of my biggest teachers, beloved friend. But you know, every time I go to Agape or live stream, your talks, your sermons, they're so filled with inspiration and empowerment. You leave literally vibrating at a different level and frequency from, you know, when you begin to listen. So I was hoping, and I'm just so grateful that you're here today so that we can offer that to our community at Heal and get some words of wisdom and guidance through these turbulent times.
Yeah, outstanding. It's my joy to be with you and to just jump in here with you with the great work that you're doing and the many people that you're touching with Heal and the Heal documentary. And I'm so grateful to be a part of that as well. And all the ways that we've got to change lives one at a time. It's been very beautiful.
Amazing. Yes, I'm grateful that you were a part of it. So first of all, real quick, I just wanted to let everybody know about your new app because I think it's so important right now, especially in all of this uncertainty and fear. There's kind of this virus of fear and panic happening as well. To provide people with tools and support. And so what a beautiful time to launch this app of yours, Michael B. Beckwith Inspires. So yeah, I encourage everybody to check it out. I think you have to go to michaelbbeckwith.tv to sign up and subscribe, and then you download the app from the App Store and get going with all this amazing, inspiring, uplifting content.
That's it. I'll have something on there every week for inspiration, for transformational knowledge. You know, they can go on now and see what's on there now, but we're loading in and doing more and more material for people to really be able to just grab their phone and get a moment of inspiration, a moment of guidance, a moment of prayer, a moment of wisdom. So at the time we knew we were launching this, we didn't know this was all going on. We didn't know that the COVID-19 would force people to stay home. So it did come out at the right time, because people are really leaning into the app and they're really leaning into the Agape services online. And so the bonus behind all of this is that people are really beginning to turn within and have a level of deep reflection, deep introspection about their life. Once we get past, as you indicated, the virus of fear, which is the biggest virus. COVID is not the biggest virus. The biggest virus is fear. It's the virus of the mind. And when that particular virus takes over, then it debilitates our immune system. It debilitates our coherent thinking. The brain hemisphere aren't aligned. Toxic chemicals begin to flow through us, and we end up making a smaller problem bigger. We end up becoming a reverse metaphysician. We turn a molehill into a mountain, you know, when in fact, if we just stay steady and not allow the fear to enter in or to take hold or know what to do with it when it does happen, we'll find ourselves being transformed when this is over. That's the point of this whole thing, is to ask ourselves, you know, who do I want to be when this goes back to normal? Of course, it's not going to go back to normal. There'll never be. We're entering into a new way of living. Who do I want to be? You know, that expands. If we stay into, oh my God, I'm afraid, I'm afraid, that contracts. If we ask, who do I want to be? That expands. Tonic chemicals flow. Coherence of the brain happens. We're able to hear our intuitive wisdom, and we're able to do the right thing. So this is a very, very powerful time of transformation. It's very powerful.
Yeah. And what, so there's so many questions. Have there been any insights or meaning behind this? You just touched upon it a little bit. That will just help restore, because there's so much misinformation, and then there's so much corruption being exposed. There's so much more divisiveness and politics that are being incited because of this global pandemic, and so much fear. You know, is there any messaging that you could share with us that will restore our faith that there is a divine intelligence at play? There is an expansion. We're moving into a different paradigm, and there's going to be positive.
I think what we need to be reminded of is that life always wins. Life always wins. We're all made of life. We're all, whatever name you want to call life. God, the great presence, the great intelligence, the underlying infinite wisdom behind everything. That always wins. That it can be suppressed for a period of time through limited perceptions and actions, but it always wins. So we have to first begin there. Life is going to win. And that gives us a level of peace, which allows us to see through a lot of the things that are coming at us through the media, through mainstream media, through social media. We're able to become still enough to see what's making sense, what's not making sense. I mean, obviously, politicians have politicized the virus and politicized COVID and whether there's going to be a vaccine or not. I mean, there's money behind that. There's so much that's been politicized that has nothing to do with our well-being. And so I always want to remind people that at this stage of our development, we are never to rely on a politician. That's not, you know, the universe is not asking us to rely upon anyone outside of ourselves. So if in fact we release the virus of fear, and then we're able to do our own research about what's safe, what keeps us secure, what's sane, we do that all along asking ourselves, you know, as I am unfolding, what kind of person do I want to be? Now, what happens with that is that we get to actually birth a whole new way of being in the world. The virus has exposed how we treat the less fortunate in our society, the most vulnerable. The safety net is not there for millions of people in our culture, in our country, and we're touted to be like one of the greatest countries in the world. But the COVID has exposed that we're not. You know, that as a country, we're failing in so many ways. We're good in many ways, but we're failing in meeting the needs of the most vulnerable in terms of healthcare and in terms of taking care of each other. I mean, you look at, for instance, Canada as an example. Canada during this time is paying their citizens $2,000 a month during this duration to make sure everybody's taken care of. The United States is giving like a stimulus dollars one time. It is a big difference in terms of the least vulnerable and how we take care of each other. So we have to ask ourselves, you know, what kind of people do we want to be? What kind of country do we want to be? What kind of world do we want to live in? And we have to find that compassion, that generosity, that love within ourselves that we can do. It doesn't mean we go out and try to change the world, but we do what we can do so that we're adding to the vibration of generosity and caretaking and things of that particular nature. So that the meaning of this is that we get to change. We get to become better people. You become better people, you have a better neighborhood, you have a better neighborhood, you have a better town, you have a better city, you have a better nation. But that can't happen if people are in fear or if they've been snagged by the politicizing of what we're calling the pandemic or the COVID-19, which by now most of your credible doctors are saying that it was man-made anyway. It's not something that just happened in nature from some bat or something like that. You know, but regardless of that, who do I want to be? You know, what kind of person do I want to be? So when we understand that life always wins, you know, there are moments in which it is suppressed, but you cannot keep life down. Now we can exchange that word for divine intelligence, infinite love, great God of the universe. These are all names of life. It always wins. So what do we want to do? We want to be in alignment with life. We don't want to just believe in it. It doesn't do you any good just to believe in God or life or intelligence. You have to be in alignment with it. So that means you have to have some level of, and this is the other thing that the COVID is giving us. You have to have some level where you press the reset button on a regular basis in your day. Now, this is allowing a global reset. We're quarantined. We can't go out and just shop and run away from our problems and be busy and go through a whole lot of entertainment and concerts and things like that. When we come home, we're still the same person. We may have been inspired for 10 minutes, but we're still the same person. Now we're at home. So once you run the gamut of seeing everything on Netflix and you've seen all the movies and seen everything, you actually have the time to do a reset. You can actually sit, journal. You can actually sit, read. You can actually sit, explore your emotions, explore your feelings, explore your perceptions, your beliefs. Who are you? What makes up this? What kind of thoughts make up this guy? You know, what perceptions? What do I believe? And what do I want to keep? And what do I want to let go of? So as we move back into the round of daily activities, do I want to take certain things with me? Or do I want to not take them with me? So then this becomes a moment of transformation. You know, I don't want to take this perception with me. I don't want to take fear. I don't want to take whatever it is. I don't want that. And through the power of my awareness, I choose, I intend, and then this becomes a reset moment. And I look back and I'm going to say, you know what? During the COVID-19 was the best thing that ever happened for me because I got quiet enough to really see parts of myself that I didn't like. Not blame, not guilt, not any of that. Just like, I really don't like that part of myself. I'm going to leave that behind. But I really love this part of Michael. I love this part of him. Let me walk with that. And let me multiply that. So then, with the awareness that life wins all the time, we're releasing the virus of fear. This is a reset moment. This can be a very transformational moment, particularly if we don't look to politicians to save us, because they're living in a paradigm that's dying, and they're trying to save the status quo. We don't want the status quo. We want something new to emerge. So the reporters are basically actors that are reading a script. They're not doing any real research. How do we know that? Because all of the news outlets are saying the same thing pretty much. So that's, if everybody was doing their independent research, you'd have all these independent points of view. But we don't have that. We have one point of view on all the stations. So you don't want to look to that. You look to it to see what's saying, but you don't depend on it. You don't depend on politicians. This is the time to depend upon your soul self, your God self. Yeah. What you were given intuition, you were given wisdom, you were given knowledge, but you have to exercise it. You see, and most people just sit back and they don't exercise it. They allow some external authority figure to exercise their will or whim over them, their own agenda, but they don't exercise their own intuition. You see, and this is what's calling us. You see,
Yeah, it's like we were on this treadmill of distraction and consumption and keeping up with the Joneses and just go, 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 and just this influx of information, and the treadmill, you know, the virus just stopped the treadmill, and we're all like sitting with ourselves going, oh, hello. Where's that feeling? You know,
Who
so
am
it's,
I?
who am I? Yeah. And it's reconnecting to ourselves and cutting out all the noise, taking the opportunity so that you can access that intuition and tune in to that resonance. Like, I can't even turn on the cable news anymore or mainstream news because it so does not resonate. It's so incoherent with what I feel is true. And then the other thing you said that I loved, you know, I'm getting overwhelmed by trying to figure out what is true. And also overwhelmed to think like how deeply and conditioned and indoctrinated like our medical establishment is. Our political system is very sick and dysfunctional. These old paradigms that are not going to survive because life wins. But it's a messy process to make that transition. So I get overwhelmed going, how is this going to change? How are we going to change? How are we going to elect leaders who are conscious and, you know, awake? And so, but I think what you said was so beautiful. We don't need to change the world. We don't need to figure everything out. We just need to connect to ourselves and be the better person, you know, be the change on our little local level in our community. Right. And then that raises the vibration of the collective. And if enough people can just reconnect with themselves and be the change they want to see in their microcosm, it affects the macro, and we raise the frequency of the planet.
Right, and that's how change happens. It starts off like just little small groups of people that are able to articulate a new way of being, a new vision, and are walking in that direction. And then you have evolutionary collaboration, where then that small group of people becomes collaborative with another small group of people, this another small group of people, and then there becomes more of a movement of energy. And your documentary Heal revealed the old paradigm of medicine and how in many ways that it is stuck, many ways it is not progressive, is not on the growing edge. So as you said, there's a lot of structures, not just the medical, the political, the social economic, the prison industry. I mean, there's so many structures that are old and tired and just don't work. This is all revealing that. And so we take this, a negative, a so-called dark night can be a redemptive moment. We actually learn how to redeem ourselves. And that means all the errant thoughts from the old perception, we redeem those thoughts, and we take those thoughts and transmute them to a higher frequency. That's what redemption is. So this is a redemption moment. And so what we're seeking to do today, what you're seeking to do, what I'm seeking to do as a community, is to lift people to be able to see possibility, stay out of the fear, and then take baby steps in walking in that possibility. Now, everybody can't do everything, but everyone can do something. And if everyone comes out of this with a little change in themselves, it makes a massive difference. A massive difference, you see.
Yes, amen.
You just can't you cannot give your authority away anymore. Now, and this is the thing we have to be aware of. Whenever mass groups of people are in fear, they unconsciously give their authority away. They unconsciously give their power away to an authority figure. We want to say, no, this isn't the time for that. You see what's happened in history when that's happened. You go back to Germany, you go back to other countries where people were in fear, then they gave their power away and negative things happened. People were destroyed. You know, we want to own our power. So this is a reset moment where we realize that we are empowered beings, not looking for some external authority figure to tell us what to do, but to becoming aware that there's a wisdom center within us. Guidance is here, and we can listen, and it will take us not back into the status quo, to normal. It'll take us into a new way of living, the new normal, which will be different. You see.
Yes.
And so this is the time we've been made for, Kelly. This is it.
Right.
You know?
Amen. So just real quickly, and then we'll wrap it up with a blessing and a prayer. For those who are struggling with real, are in survival, they've lost their job, they're facing serious health issues, in it right now. What's a piece of counsel you can give them to have faith that life wins, and how can they direct their energy towards faith and not towards hopelessness? Did I lose you?
So if you're stuck in your life that's working, any area of your life that's working, and you feel what that feels like. So let's say you're having difficulty right now financially, but your body temple is working. You're healthy. So you take your attention and you come to the body temple and you feel a deep sense of gratitude, deep sense of thankfulness that you're healthy. And then you take that feeling and you close your eyes and you imagine, you think about your finances. But when you think about your finances, you don't contract. You think about your finances, but you carry the feeling of the gratitude you had because your body is healthy. Now what happens is you expand, and then ideas and opportunities open up because you've taken yourself to a different frequency. You make a way out of no way because we are vibrational beings. We're not just flesh and bone, not flesh and blood. We are vibrations. So once you shift your vibration, then possibilities, opportunities open up. And you can do that with anything. Perhaps your relationship is off kilter, but you have enough money, or you don't have enough money, but you're healthy. You just find something. Now, and another way to access that is, it is impossible for you to feel in love and to contract and to produce toxic chemicals. The moment you feel in love, oxytocin begins to express. You know this through your movie, Heal. So when you're really, really stuck, you think about somebody you love. You can think about the presence of God. You think about the presence of a loved one in your life. You have a new baby. You have a beloved. You have a friend. You think about how much you love them. You think about the giftedness of your own life. You fall in love with yourself. And the moment that happens, the tonic chemicals begin to flow. Coherence happens. Now you can hear the guidance. And what does the guidance do? The guidance tells you what to do. Action. You're not just going to sit there. It's called divine right action. But you can't get it if there's static on the line. Fear is on the line, it blocks the guidance. Worry blocks the guidance. So those are the two things I would say. If one of your structures is falling apart, look at a structure that's working. I call that energetic shape-shifting. That's what I call that.
Love it.
You look at the structure that's working, you're grateful, you're thankful, you feel into it, you shift your attention back to the structure that doesn't appear to be working, but with the feeling of expansion, and then that structure will start to change vibrationally. And then if you're really stuck, think about somebody you love. Energy would change, coherence happens, and then you'll be guided into right action. Now, what I'm sharing here, however, this is called spiritual practice. This is not just a belief. You have to actually do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you actually do it, you'll look back and say, wow, that really helped. I'm not in fear anymore. Oh, I got this idea. Resourcefulness, innovativeness, creativity starts to emerge. Oh, I can do this to bring in some money. Oh, I can start this online business. Oh my God, there are loans. Oh, you'll start to see possibility, whereas before you were only seeing blockages and hindrances and obstacles. Your
Yes.
perception changes, your experience changes, and guidance rushes in.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. Thank you. And like you said, it's a practice. It's not a one and done. It's that pushing that reset multiple times during the day, because fear will hijack our mind, and we've got to come
Yes.
back to gratitude, love, and then that's when the inspiration, the guidance rushes in. Your intuition
Yes.
can be heard.
Yes.
So thank
you
you
can
for
actually birth something. You can birth something out of nothing. That's what the great teachers have said over the years, because everything comes from nothing but an idea. But the idea is coming from when you're in alignment with the higher frequency.
Love it. Thank you so much. Okay, so this has been an amazing conversation. You've given so much wisdom. If you could just kind of send us off with a prayer, that'd be wonderful.
I would love to do this. So I invite us to just close the outer eye for a moment, the outer eyes. Listen to the sound of my voice. But as you close your eyes, take your attention away from the world for a moment. Circumstances and situations and people and places and things, events. Just take your attention away from the external and bring your attention to the internal. And here we begin to bump into the eternal by coming into a deep state of gratitude and thanksgiving that we are alive, that we are awake, that we are aware, that we are together right here and right now with Kelly on this particular technology. We're so grateful to be with all of these people, so thankful to be alive. And in this consciousness of gratitude and thanksgiving, we begin to see differently. Our perceptual windows become more clean and more clear. We begin to see not just with the eyes, but with pure awareness. We see that truly we are living and moving and having our beingness in the great power, the great presence, the great love, the great life, the great I am that is everywhere in its fullness. We're one with life. And from this consciousness of oneness, I have the privilege of speaking this word of prayer for each and every individual that is listening right here and right now. And I speak the word knowing that right where they are, the power and the presence and the love is. And that anything heretofore that would have blocked, hindered, obstructed, delayed, or denied peace of wellness, divine compelling right action, health, wholeness, vitality, vigor, strength. Anything heretofore that would have hindered that is now rendered powerless. For there's only one power, and that's the power of life oozing through us right now. And that we, in this moment, this word is transmuting the lower frequencies of fear, doubt, and worry, allowing us to transcend them, that we can begin to see that all of life is for us and there is nothing against us. This is where we feel we're cradled by our presence. This is where we abide. This is where we seek to live. We hang here, and then right action occurs, compelling right action. I see it, I give thanks for it, and I let it be. Therefore I can say, and so it is. Amen.
Whew, amazing. Thank you so much. And, life wins. Love wins. I love it. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Appreciate the work you're doing. Thank you for the invitation.
Take care. Oh, yeah. Everybody go check out his app. Go to michaelbbeckwith.tv, sign up, subscribe, and then go download the app. Michael Beckwith Inspires from the App Store. All right. Love you guys. Thank you all.
Bye-bye.